We had 2 months to save our studio, and this is how we did it. The problem was that after finishing our previous game Driving is Hard, which got some attention, but financially, it still was only enough for several months. We had to find another game idea, quickly. Why? Because in 2 months, we would have a chance to secure some funding through an accelerator. But for that, we had to have a good game prototype. Otherwise, with our limited savings and no freelance gigs, we would be back to flipping burgers and 9-to-5 jobs. And after tasting creative freedom, that sounded bad. So we made a plan. Prototype fast, test faster, and pray we find the one in time. We gave ourselves 6 weeks to find something worthwhile, leaving some extra time just in case. And since our previous game was a Fodian-style rage game, we decided to continue on this route. During the first 2 weeks, we made 4 prototypes that had some potential like this much, but they weren't enough. The first prototype that we managed to produce was called Rolling is Hard. It was fun on paper, but controlling the tire was a nightmare. So, we shoved it to the graveyard of ideas. Then, Ludas, a big fan of kayaks, made a prototype called Kayaking is Hard. It was kind of fun, I even made some art for it, but after several iterations on it, we just couldn't make it work. And funnily enough, after a few weeks, we saw a competing game that was already on the way. Next up was Rolling is Hard. A bunch of magnetic robots were tied together trying to reach the top. Hilarious, but not quite the one. So down the drain it went. And finally, these 2 weeks concluded with something hopeful, a speed game called Speeding is Hard. It was tight, fast, and addictive. We even had a short internal speedrun challenge. And for the first time in a while, we felt a bit of hope. Which, of course, was about to get shattered. Third week started with us needing an iconic character for Speeding is Hard. We had to find something marketable. We made 3 choices, a slime, a frog, and a spirit ball. But after further thought, none of these felt right. So we decided to put this prototype on pause and try something else. Then came the plank. It was dumb and basic, but somehow it felt just right. Planking is Hard played like a pure rage game, and it was damn fun, so we prototyped it more. Gave it cute faces, added some additional features, and tested it at Comic-Con Baltics. And well, people loved it. It seemed that everyone loved it, and I flippin' loved it. Maybe a bit too much. Some people in our studio were still not convinced that the plank was the best idea, so like in every healthy team, we started arguing hard, which led to a tanking productivity, talking behind each other's back, plotting and scheming to take the non-believers down. From my point of view, Plank had to live. It wasn't just about a character. It felt like we were arguing over the future of the studio. Then, everything changed during week 5. We had to start working on the accelerator application. We needed something innovative, something new. That's when Tautvydas dropped an idea. What if we could send in-game messages to streamers while they're playing? And Ludas added, what if the main character was an old brick phone and we could use it as a way of communicating? At that moment, it all just clicked. Nostalgic, interactive, marketable. And just like that, the plank was no longer in the picture, and Flipping is Hard was born. For the first time, we had clarity. A flip phone. Chunky, outdated, ridiculous, perfect. Trying to return to his owner after he tripped and dropped him into a drain. We worked on countless iterations of movement till it felt snappy, a bit goofy and definitely rage-inducing. We imagined how we want the world to be shaped. Mountains of lost toys, nostalgic relics from our childhood like Game Boys, VHS tapes and old computers. We even added our first NPC Muddy, a grumpy Tamagotchi sitting in a puddle that she calls a swamp. And we launched our Steam page, posted a bunch of shorts, and for the first time, it felt real. We weren't just making prototypes, we were finally making a game. So, at the end of week 7, we finished filling the application and we sent it out hoping for the best. Maybe it wasn't the most groundbreaking game. Maybe it wasn't the most beautiful game, but it was our game and we were going to make it amazing. But before that, we had to start fresh. The prototype was a mess, so from now on, only clean code, clean structure, and one new goal in our minds. Release a polished demo at the end of the year. Ludas will be working on multiplayer and game design. Totvudas will be fine-tuning the mechanics, and I will focus on visuals, making the Trashlands feel more nostalgic than ever. We have a long way to go, that's clear as day. Many more sleepless nights are around the corner, but I'm positive we can make an amazing game out of this dumb phone. And it's honestly crazy to think that we almost gave up a bunch of failed prototypes, eternal fights, and a damn cursed plank. But all that chaos, it gave us clarity. We now have something real. A rage game that's funny, nostalgic, and frustrating in the best way possible. Will it succeed? We don't know, but we're giving it everything we've got. So if you'd like to join the journey, subscribe, wishlist on Steam, and hop into our Discord server. Thank you for watching, and remember to keep flipping. And maybe don't drop your phone. Or do, because it might end up on an adventure of its lifetime.